Welcome back to Echoes and Paths. I'm glad you're tuning in today, whether you're on your way somewhere, relaxing at home, or maybe looking for a little spark of encouragement. I'm your host, and this episode is all about something we all wrestle with: learning to forgive yourself. So, self forgiveness. It's one of those things people mention in passing, like just let it go or forgive and move on, as if it's supposed to be simple. But if you've ever tried, you know it's anything but simple. Most of us hold on to old mistakes, big or small, replaying them in our minds, feeling guilt or even shame, long after anyone else has forgotten. I definitely still remember moments from years ago, a harsh word, a bad decision, some chance I missed, that pop back up in my mind when I least expect it. What strikes me about this is we're often our own toughest critics. The stuff we'd forgive in another person, sometimes in a heartbeat, we just can't seem to let go of in ourselves. Maybe we believe being hard on ourselves somehow keeps us responsible. But what I'm starting to learn is self-forgiveness isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about making peace with the past so you can actually move forward and live as your best self. The research backs this up too. Studies show that self-forgiveness is deeply linked with emotional stability, higher self-esteem, and even feeling more hope and purpose in life. That's interesting because it flips the old idea that forgiving yourself makes you lazy or irresponsible. Turns out when you learn to forgive yourself, you're actually more likely to grow and less likely to repeat old patterns that hurt you or people around you. So, how do you actually start forgiving yourself? One model that really stands out is called the 4 R's of self-forgiveness: responsibility, remorse, restoration, and renewal. Let me break that down in real-life terms. First, take responsibility. This means actually facing what happened. No sugarcoating, no excuses. Whether it was something you said, something you did, or even something you failed to do, just name it. I've found that writing it down, literally on paper, makes it more real but also less scary. Then comes remorse. That's feeling honest regret for the mistake, allowing the sadness or disappointment to hit you, but, and this is important, not setting up camp there forever. It's okay to feel bad, but beating yourself up endlessly doesn't change the past. It just drains your battery. The next step is restoration. Sometimes this means making it right if you can, apologizing, fixing what you broke, or just owning up to the impact of your actions. Other times, restoration is about doing better now, even if you can't go back and undo what happened. A small, thoughtful action for someone else, or even towards yourself, goes a long way. Last is renewal. This one's about learning and starting again. Give yourself permission to move forward. I keep coming back to this. Self-forgiveness isn't forgetting what happened, it's learning from it and choosing to live differently. Let me share a personal example. A while back, I flaked on a friend during a difficult time. Work was stressful. I had so much going on, but honestly, I could have made the call. It ate at me, that guilty feeling, for months. Eventually, I reached out with an honest apology, which they accepted and appreciated, but reconciling with myself took longer. I had to acknowledge my own disappointment, let myself feel the regret, and finally remind myself I'm allowed to mess up and learn. That moment taught me to show up better the next time, and it helped loosen the grip of that inner critic just a bit. There are so many little ways to practice self-forgiveness. Some people find writing a compassionate letter to themselves surprisingly powerful, even if it feels strange at first. Others try guided imagery or meditation, imagining a warm, encouraging presence offering them forgiveness. You could even come up with a tiny ritual, like lighting a candle or saying out loud, "I forgive myself for Iyosayar," to mark the shift. The key is, don't just push the regret aside or try to drown it out. Hear it, feel it, but then choose to keep moving. What's fascinating is that self-forgiveness opens the door to real change. When you hold on to shame or self-blame, it's like dragging a heavy bag behind you. It slows you down and it colors everything you try. But as you let go of that burden a little at a time, you notice how you become more willing to try again, to trust people, and even to help others who are struggling with the same things. Sometimes forgiving yourself is easier in community, with a friend, a counselor, or even a group working toward compassion together. In fact, studies suggest that self-forgiveness interventions work even better when they're self-directed. meaning you take small, regular steps in private, reflecting and growing on your own, at your own pace. That was eye-opening for me, knowing you don't have to confess everything publicly to truly make progress. If you're listening and thinking, that all sounds good, but I don't even know where to start, it's okay. Try this. Look in a mirror, or maybe just close your eyes and put your hand on your chest. Say, hey, I made a mistake, but I'm still learning and I still care. You might not feel a huge shift right away, but it's a start. And that's what self-forgiveness really is, a process, not a finish line. Remember, forgiving yourself is not about erasing your story. It's about integrating it so you can grow from it. Everyone you admire, every friend, neighbor, or public figure has had moments they'd rather forget. But what makes the difference is how they carry those moments forward. Do they let them become anchors or building blocks? If one thing sticks with you from this episode, let it be this. You're allowed to move forward. Making peace with your past doesn't erase it. It just loosens its grip on your present and gives you space to build a better future. Thank you for listening to Echoes and Paths today. If you found this helpful or think someone else needs to hear it, please subscribe, share, and help us grow this community. Every listener, like you, makes a difference. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and take the next small step forward.